Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks, and welcome to my channel, Stampin' Turtles. This is my little home studio. I have a real studio that I go to and teach classes at, but this is my little home studio because I can go live from here. I tried to go live from the other place, and the Wi-Fi did not work that great. It was very bad reception there. So we came back to this location, which is a little messy and a little silly because I do have a little puppy. I don't know if you can see him. He's in the little bed down there, and I have a mess. I have a mess in my room. Hello, oh my gosh. Yes, I can hear me now. I like to go live on my phone, like watch it on my phone before anything, because if I don't watch it on there, then I know that, or I won't know if something's wrong. And I gotta watch myself, so it's kind of funny. Maybe someday I'll be able to have a little side person that can be like the sound and all that. But for now, it's just me. So, anyways, how's your day going? Y'all, how are you doing? Today's Monday. You know, I go live on Mondays. Uh-oh, my little light went off. Battery died on my light. That's okay. We don't need that. But I want you guys to know that just because it's a Monday, don't let it get you down. Today is a day we can do a lot of fun things. And one of the most funnest things that I can think of doing is painting. So if you're struggling because you're not sure how to paint hydrangeas or flowers or something, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you something that's a trick that I learned actually just by doing it. And so you can learn just by watching it, and then you can try it yourself, see if it works. But here's my desk. Got my little desk going right here. And it's really fun and messy. This is what I did yesterday. I painted this yesterday, and I love it. I was inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest, I believe. And I just kind of typed in watercolor hydrangeas, and this is what popped up. One of the images. So you might be like, oh, you're copywriting. No, this is my painting. I did not take their image and say it was mine. I repainted it. So if you can tell, I did some really loose splatters and some fun stuff like, I don't know, I just created something that was fun. I didn't want to be too persnickety with it, you know, too over the top. So, you might be saying to yourself, well, I like detail. I don't know if I like this whole loose thing. I'll tell you what, we can try doing different things. But if you want to have fun and not stress, loose is the way to go. Okay? Loose is the way to go. If I can open this. Oi. Y'all, this is difficult sometimes to open. Oi. There we go. There we go. I got my lovely little paints. I have my little sketchbook today. I have my tea. I'm going to drink some tea. You know, I put some of my coastal honey. Coastal honey. They had a little booth set up yesterday. I don't know how she did. I have to ask her, but our pastor has beehives, and he makes honey with the beehives, and just it's really good product, but also just supporting a really wonderful family. Where am I going to put this? I want to put this somewhere we can see it, and maybe we do a little close-up. I don't know if we can do a close-up. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Can you see that kind of closer? This is closer. Now, you know, I have all my little paint brushes right here in this cute little brush holder that my dear friend Dolly made for me because she knows I love turtles. I'm just going to get out these two because these two, well, there's two different sizes, but they're round brushes, okay? We also need a pencil, maybe. I don't know. Did I even use pencil on this one? Y'all, I didn't even do pencil We're not going to use pencil because I'm going to show you guys no pencil. What happens if you do this with no pencil? All right, so I got my 2 brushes, right? And I do have my paints. Now, some people like to squirt this whole thing down with water. And I don't have a spray bottle, but what I do have is a big brush and some water on my desk. And I can just re-dip. I want those purple ones and blue ones because these hydrangeas are going to have some really fun blues in them. And don't forget your yellow. Oh, this water is yucky, but that's okay. It's okay to have yucky water like that. So my palette's already kind of a little messy, which I enjoy having this messiness because it blends with these colors. So I can make my green. And if I want it to be a little more blue-green, I'll just add a little bit of this turquoise in there. And that makes that pretty. Almost, well, we need to put a little bit of red. I didn't want my red here too much, but let's do that. So I like that darker green. See that? See me mixing. All right, so I got that green. What else do I got? Let's see. I'm gonna mix up this. This is a really good blue. I don't know what color that is. Cobalt? Could be cobalt. Cobalt blue. Look at that. That's a really pretty blue right there. Okay. And I know it's not pure because I dip my brush in there and in here is yucky. But here's what I want you guys to start. And don't even think about it. Just start smashing your brush, okay? Smash it. We're not trying to be anything fancy at this point. Just smash it on there. Look at that. So pretty. It almost looks like hydrangeas right now. I mean, seriously, doesn't it? I'm telling you. Like, if you think that painting is hard because, I don't know, it doesn't look right, just try doing something like this. Just try it. You'll be amazed. Now I might drop some of this green in there while it's still a little bit wet. Not too much. Yeah, maybe a little bit of my yellow mixed in with this green. Lighten that green a little bit. And you know, I don't really use a ton of I don't use a ton of white. I mean, there is a place for white paint, but I don't use a lot of it. I just use what I got to lighten, which is yellow. And I do have the white in here, but I don't use it too much. I think it's kind of overused. But you can use it if you want, if it makes you happy. All right, so now I've got that kind of going. And it looks pretty. I don't know. Do you see a cat right there? Like 2 eyes, a mouth, a nose. That almost, and 2 ears. Do you guys see that? Kind of see a cat. Might have to get rid of that cat. Oops. Now I'm going to show you that I have some paint that dried on my palette. And I'm just going to use this as my fancy leaves. So leaves, you can start with a point. And you can do whatever you want with them. You can be, look at that. Do you guys see that? It is kind of light, but I will show it to you. I will pick it up and show it to you. Hold on. We're just gonna make this a little silly and fun. Why? Because we're not trying to make something that's crazy. We're just trying to make something fun. But you probably can't unsee that cat now that I've pointed it out to you. But don't worry, it'll disappear as I paint. Now I have, this is my sketchbook. And I got it off of Amazon in a 6-pack. I don't even remember. the name of it. But the problem with this sketchbook is the paper is kind of almost like hot press. It's really, really smooth. And I think it doesn't hold moisture real long. It dries pretty fast. But that's okay because we got to use what we got. So now I'm going to go back to this bluish color and I'm going to add my turquoise and my greenish turquoise that I have. And I'm mixing it into that blue I already have, the cobalt blue that I use for the flowers. And we're mixing up the vase color. So right now, I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it yet. Let's just go. Yeah, see, I got to concentrate. Sorry, got to concentrate. Leave room for the little leaf. And there's probably another little leaf right here. But there's also a white line. And you can touch. There. Look at that. That's your little vase. And you can even push that away from the bottom so it's darker towards that area. See how watercolor kind of flows? So that's going to give you some shadow on your vase. I also like to clean off my brush, dab it on here, and just kind of blend. But this paper is a little difficult. So you may have the same kind of issue I'm having right now and be like, you know what? My paper's drying like so fast I can barely blend on my paper. So if you're a watercolor artist and you've been doing it enough that you're kind of like, I really like it and I want to keep progressing in my skills, guess what I want you to do? I want you to upgrade your paper. And I prefer Arch paper, but you can get, there's anything that says professional, like level 3 at Michael's, or if it says, what's another brand that's really good? Tell me in the chat if you have recommendations for that. But there's a lot of different brands out there. I say upgrade your paper first because you don't want to upgrade your brushes first, because that you can almost do anything with the cheap brushes. But because this one is like the cheapest that you can probably get in a set at Michael's, and I love it. It's by Nickel and Lang something. I always forget how to say things. But anyways, this is this has been around for almost 6 years and I love it. It's like my favorite brush. I also got this. This is $25. This one is probably $2. And I use them both because I like this size and I like this size. So they're great. Always, always, always upgrade your paper first. Then you can upgrade paints because you want to have quality paints. This was a cheap set that after I used up the color, I replaced with professional watercolor paint in a tube. Squeeze it out, it dries, it's wonderful. All right, what color is on here? Let's see what we do now. So I'm going to go in and do some more of this splotchiness, right? Now I'm just pressing my brush down and I'm turning it a little point, different directions, right? Different directions. But while it's wet-ish, I want to show you my trick. So I'm drying this brush just because I want to dip it into the paint and get it nice and saturated in a darker blue. So I have a ton of paint on here. I don't know if you can see that. But now we're going to I may have to blend it just a little bit. Look at that X. I want you guys to see it. Now this paper is not the best for this technique maybe, but we're going to keep trying. And this is kind of my trick. So I want you guys to know that you are only 16 minutes into this video and I have revealed the trick, okay? It's not really a trick. It's just something that I learned by doing. And you guys would learn by doing as well. So it's starting to look already like hydrangeas. Look at that, y'all. Look at how beautiful. It's looking so pretty. I love it. Y'all, I almost dipped that in my tea. That would not have been fun. Because we don't want to drink paint. Drinking paint is bad. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It looks great. It looks fabulous. Fabulosa. All right, now we're going to mix up some more greens. I want to get this color down in here. So I'm going to do my Viridian green right into this ugly, dirty green. The ugly, dirty green, okay? So we're mixing together whatever was in my palette with this prettier Viridian green. And now we're just going to make, it's not super dark. I wish it was a little darker. We'll go back in. We'll go back in. Don't you worry. But I'm going to put some green up in here. Now hydrangea leaves are more big. I don't know what these leaves are all about. They're just kind of for fun. They're just fun. And I'm going to put some leaves down here. See that? Put some leaves down there. You can put leaves wherever you want. This is yours. You can even splatter. You want to splatter some? Go splatter. And then if you don't like where it's splattered, just go lift it up with a clean brush. Clean-ish brush. Cleanish. If you want to see that up close and slow-mo, let me know in the chat and I will slow it down. But it's really easy. You just rinse your brush, dry it, and you can lift up any spots on your paper with the tip of your brush. So it's really fun. I love it already, like y'all. And it's little, but I love it already. I love it already. And that white line right there, I don't know if you can really see it. That's like the highlight of the glass. So you can kind of get the impression of glass. But see those little X's? They're really not doing too much. When you use the other paper, it stays wet longer and it kind of blends a little bit more. So, but I think it's good. It's looking good right now. What else do I want to do? I don't know. We gotta wait for some of this to dry before we can add a layer. So let's do the fun little thing at the bottom that's kind of like a greenish shadow, right? So we're gonna go real slowly. Sometimes you gotta go slow. And I'm not really concentrating, sorry, but so if it doesn't look good, that's because I'm not concentrating. But this is looking okay. This is looking fine. So why would you do it in this color? Well, in the original one that inspired me, that's what color they used. And I think it just is kind of pretty. I think it looks pretty. I made that a little bit too much on the vase, but you can lift. That's why I always have my little brush. And see that? That's not even anything, you guys. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of water, kind of dab it on my towel. If you don't have a paper towel in your hand while you're watercoloring, you're not really watercoloring. It's kind of like sewing in an iron. You need to have it going if you're sewing, which is why I don't sew, because I don't iron. But I've tried to learn. It's not that easy for me, y'all. It's no easy. All right, I am liking how this is looking. It's so pretty. So pretty. And the background's going to stay white. So if you're interested in learning to do this in person and you're near me, if you're in Baldwin County, Alabama, y'all come to my class. It's next Sunday. Thank you for liking my video, y'all, because I just saw someone liked it. So thank you. If you want to give me hearts, that's lovely. If you want to leave a comment, that's lovely. Even if you're watching this on the rerun. Y'all can like it and comment and I will read it. My tea is so good to get today. It is a lemon ginger. I don't know what favorite tea you guys have. I try different teas all the time. And I just love them. Love all the teas. All right, I'm going to put some more blues in here. Because right in here is where there's some shadows. So I'm going to put in some darker blues in there. And I think even this really darker blue. And I'm showing you the quick and easy way of painting with watercolor. And that is just dabbing some water in there in color. My friend Janice says, let's blop some water, I think. And I love that term. Definitely is important to continue just putting that water and paint to paper. You don't learn how to do something unless you do it. I don't think anyone, not that I've been watching the Olympics, but I don't think any of those athletes got there by just watching videos of skiing, of you know, whatever sport they're in, you know. And just like the NFL, the Super Bowl, those guys are not in the Super Bowl because they just sat around and watched videos 8 hours a day. They got out and did it. They're practicing their sports and they're learning by doing. So if you are an artist and you are struggling with something, just put some paint, water onto paper and see what happens, because you don't learn unless you do it. So I want you guys to kind of do this with me. If you don't have your paints out and are following along with me, go get your paints and then we can do this, okay? Now I'm like kind of waiting for that sweet spot to dry, because sometimes it's like too wet and you can't do nothing. And sometimes it's too dry, you can't do nothing. So there's always that sweet spot. Now I just added some Payne's Gray into that kind of dirty green. And I'm going to put it right in next to these flowers up here. Because we have to have shadows, even though we're loose painting, the shadows really make it all. You'd be surprised. Now I'm going to just mix a little bit of that color into this color of green and see what happens when I just give a little shadow onto some of these. Whatever they are. Maybe they're eucalyptus, maybe they're little sprigs of something. Maybe I should put more. There is supposed to be one going this way down here, I think. I could add that. I like having a little bit of red mixed in with my green. It just gives it that little bit of sage. So I'm just going to go real light and just tiny, tiny little leaves right there. And that's not anything fancy. You don't need to have it be anything more than that. Like literally just did that, right? Let me go back into my vase a little bit. I want to add, do I want to add anything? I don't know if it's going to ruin it. The only way you can ruin something though is just by not trying something, right? I don't know if I like that. I might just blend that away. Don't like it. So there we go. I kind of like how that looks. That looks pretty. And it's because it's like shadows from the leaves onto the glass. That's what I like. Can you see that? Let me bring it up close. And see how wet the flowers are still? I've been adding more water. And more water takes longer. Takes longer. But to see the little X's in there, they make the hydrangeas look so pretty. So pretty. Now, sometimes if you're like, oh, I need to keep going, and you want to keep trying to make whatever it is you're doing. If you're painting flowers, if you're painting something else, I want you to realize that even if you mess up something, it's just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. It's not brain surgery. No one's gonna die if you mess up. So that should take pressure off of y'all. Like, painting is not about perfection. It's about enjoying the process. And there's some people who want to say, "Oh, you're supposed to do everything with excellence and perfection." And no. No. That's the thing that cripples people. And they don't even try then, right? Let me splatter some of that blue. That's so pretty. Almost dipped it in my tea again. That's funny. That's funny. All right, I'm just dabbing out a few of those because I didn't want as many as what went on there. But I do like splatters. You know me. Me and splatters are like best buds. I love the splatters. I'm feeling like everything is coming together. It's all coming together. Let me mix up some more Payne's Gray into this dirty green because we want to make some more shadow. More shadow. See how I'm doing? But I think people enjoy the art that I do in my sketchbook a lot because I've been doing it just to practice and I'm not doing it to be perfect. And so a lot of times those turn out to be the best because it's like I didn't have any, I didn't have an expectation to make it be anything. I was just practicing, right? So now I'm going to add some more dark colors in here. That's kind of where my hydrangeas are coming together. I love it, love it. It's okay to love your own art. It's not prideful. It's nice to actually enjoy creating your art and making it. So don't be upset at yourself if you're enjoying it and you like it. Like, seriously, y'all. And see, I'm putting little, I can't tell if you can see that, tiny little X's here and there. And those little X's are what makes these look kind of like hydrangeas. So you definitely try it. Try making little tiny X's inside your blobs and see what happens. Because it could be cool. Could be cool. Let's see. I'm rinsing my brush again and drying it. See where I want to put this now. May put just a titch of this brown burnt sienna or number one of these. Mixing it into this green that I already had. That's still just a little bit leftover green on here because it's nice to make it more similar to these ones. Now I'm just going to go over these little stems. Not the leaves, just the stems. So that just gives it a little bit of, I mean, it's so subtle, y'all probably can't even tell. But I just put a little bit of brown in there. But look how pretty, y'all. It's so pretty. I'm liking that so much. So much. And it's only been 30 minutes, y'all. I did this in 30 minutes without drawing it, without, I'm almost saying it's done. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I let it rest and then I'm like, what do I need to do? Now, the shadow is very pale to me. I may go in with my brown green. Add a little more green. And this green that I use is sap green. I love it. It's like my fave. I'm going to just go in very gently around the bottom of the vase. if you actually look at shadows, they don't have the same consistency from the base of an object to the outer edges. It really fades and changes colors sometimes. So that looks really pretty. I could make more shadow. I don't know. What do we want to do? I might water this down just a little bit and see what happens if I just water it down a lot more. And see how I'm just touching the edge of that and it flows, it flows. And then that gives it a nice greenish color. That looks pretty. And it may have ruined it. I didn't know. I didn't know. It's fine though, because we're having fun. So what else shall we talk about? Because I feel like this is almost done. But I don't want to stop painting. I actually have these two cards already cut out. And I thought, what if I made ACEOs out of these little hydrangeas? What would happen, huh? What would happen if I did the same thing but just on a smaller scale? So like blah, 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 blah. Right? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So look what I'm doing. Do y'all see? Can you see what I'm doing? It's very pale. Because we start light, 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 and then go dark, dark, dark towards the end. But not quite yet. What are we doing? You can start doing these little darker crosses. I need to go smaller brush, y'all, if I'm going to do this. And I do wanted to put some of that green. Just dab a little bit of green in there because those hydrangeas have a little bit of green sometimes in them. Right? I don't know if you can see this real good. Let me see if I can get any closer. I hate to have to zoom in so much, but I need you guys to see. So I'm just holding this down, right? And I'm mixing up some more blues and the darker blues. Remember, we got those little kind of X's. You can go smaller if you're not comfortable holding a big brush like this and making small little marks, then go ahead and get your smallest brush. And you know, my smallest brush, I actually got a set from my husband for Christmas, and I don't know. Look at how teeny tiny. That's so teeny tiny. So if you're gonna paint super small stuff, you can do this with a little tiny brush. Look at that. I'm just adding these little darker blobs at the bottom because the shadow will always be towards the bottom. This is very pretty. I'm already gonna love this, I think. And I don't know, I've been thinking about it, you know, doing these on eBay, selling them or whatever. I have like an old account on there, I believe, which I haven't even looked at in a while. So might look into that. Or I might just trade with you guys. Like, do you want to trade? I know I want to trade with Janice. Janice has amazing stuff. Jerry, are you doing ACEOs? Guys gotta look into the world of ACEOs. So much fun. Now I'm just gonna do the little vase. Might make it a little bigger. You're supposed to leave room for them for something. Probably need a smaller brush, y'all. I feel like this is cumbersome. Cumbersome. It's fine. Let's see. just lift. Don't forget, you can always lift if you don't like something. And I'm sorry, I'm concentrating. Sometimes we gotta concentrate because our brains. My brains. I actually really like these. Look how cute. And they're not even done. They're already cute. Already looking super cuteness. My vase is not very flat bottomed. Don't know. I guess it could be round. All right, so now I want to go back to my little teeny tiny brush and see what we can do. I add some more blue. But see how dry that is? So it's really holding the X. Like, I don't know if that's what I want. It's holding it pretty tightly. Now this side is definitely a little bit more wet. So I'm going to be able to just let that bleed into the other parts. But if you end up finding that it's too wet, you just dry it with your heat tool, hair dryer, or something like that. Now I want to add that green. Now what happens? Do I want to do that sprig? I don't think I want to do the sprig. I think I just want to do kind of like a darker, this darker green. I'm definitely going to make some leaves. Some leaves right in here. Maybe one over here. And sometimes you put these in and you're like, did I want one right there? Well, sometimes you're already committed to it, right? So you might as well just go for it. And if you're like me, sometimes you're like, I didn't want to do it right there. I didn't want that right there. But it's okay. Because these are little tiny, these are even smaller than a sketchbook, y'all. So don't even worry about whether or not you've got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting a couple leaves. I'm not putting a ton of leaves. Now I'm adding that Payne's Gray just to darken them a little bit. Just while they're a little bit wet. Just dabbing it in here and there. I'm not even looking at a reference photo, which is so unlike me, but I like doing something quick like this for you guys because I really want to show you how versatile this technique is. So now I'm going to go back in and get some of that cobalt blue mixed up because we need a little bit more color in here. Just feel like it's not as colorful as I'd like. Leave some white space too, because sometimes we try and fill every little nook and cranny, and we're not supposed to do that. We're just supposed to add it here and there. So leave some white space. And if you don't like how dark it got, just dab it with your brush. Kind of like that color. That color looks good. It's coming along. Now I might actually do some more on that vase just to get it popping because it's not as easy to see. And I'm just going to blend that with a clean brush. So it looks kind of darker. That's kind of pretty. Like it. Might go and have a little splattering, little fun splatters. Okay, get rid of some of these little outlier ones that I didn't like. Those look good. Look at that. They're teeny tinies. Little teeny tinies. Now we need that little shadow, that little yellow green shadow, right? And just very gently make it on the both sides. On the both sides. This is very yellowy. That's okay. Now I'm just drying my brush and I'm using it to push it around, even though it's not really wet, it's just pushing that around. And if it's not dark enough, you can always go back and put a second layer, right? And what I like about watercolor, and it's really fun, is that it's so light and translucent. And if you make a mistake at this stage, you can dab it with a paper towel. You don't have to worry about if there's a mark on there that you're upset with. So definitely just think about that. So that watercolor, you know, you don't have to worry if it's too light, you keep adding layers after it dries. And then you can build the depth in there. So like right now I'm thinking, oh, let's put some dark Payne's gray in there maybe. What happens if I just start doing it just here and there, a little bit of Payne's gray. And we're just carving out the shape kind of this hydrangea, right? Now some parts of my painting are still wet. And sometimes that's fun to do. A little bit of the X's in there just to make it look like the centers of those petals. So that might be fun to do. Right now it just kind of blends a little bit. But if you don't like that, bleeding all over into the other areas, just wait a little bit longer. But I'm looking at that going, yes, that looks great. Now I may just do a little bit of a shadow right in there. Just a little extra shadow right in there. That's what I like. I didn't think I would like this little tiny brush so much, but I do. I like it. Well, these are looking so good. I like them. I like them, I like them, I like them. And they're just teeny tiny little guys, aren't they? Like, I don't even know if this is ACEO size. It might be smaller. That's okay. All right, now it's 10:44. I do have someplace I gotta go today, so I am going to let me talk to you guys. Let's see. And my light is no bueno. My light is no bueno. So maybe I'll just use window light. See if we can do this. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about how good God is. And y'all know I had an injury to my wrist, and it's been over a month. Well, about a month was on the 4th. And I do want to show you guys, like, look at that. Look at that. It's very healed. I mean, it's a little tender to touch. I can use my hands. I can lift things. I've been using it like before. And once in a while, just a little twinge of pain, not too much pain, not anything like I would be worried about, just an overuse kind of thing. And so I am just grateful that God has healed me, and he's really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, I'll be honest with you, I had stopped doing what I think God had called me to do about just sending out some scripture to my friends. And he was telling me, who's that? Oh, hi, Amazing Nate. Bye. You got to go somewhere, I bet. Thanks for watching, though. Mwah. And so yeah, I think that he has allowed that little trial to happen to remind me that my calling doesn't have to be grandiose. Okay. I've been so stressed out trying to find commercial. Oh yeah, you got to go to work. Maybe I'll come see you today. I would love that. Yes, Amanda. That's my baby girl. Maybe I'll come see you today at work and harass you. So that would be fun. She is my daughter that works at Michael's, and so I love the wanted to say bye, but you're videoing. Yes, I am videoing. But yeah, I get my little discount through her, which is awesome. And I wanted the other one to work at Hobby Lobby so I could get both, but it is what it is. You know, you got to take what you can. But yeah, I really enjoyed just thinking about some things recently, and the Lord put it on my heart to send out my text messages again. And I'll tell you how it's been a blessing more to me than it has been to other people. And so that's the thing that I want to remind you guys about. You're an artist. You're here. You're watching how to paint. Or maybe you're just a fan. Or maybe you're just my daughter. But whatever the reason is, you're watching this. And I want you to know that God's plan for you is to prosper you and not to harm you. So even if it seems like, oh, I got harmed, right? It wasn't to harm me. It was to grow me. It was to encourage me to pursue the things that He wants me to pursue, not the things that this world tells me to pursue. But I love that He has sent some people into my life over the weekend just to pray with me and encourage me in where I'm at. Like, don't keep trying to focus on the next step, the next step, the next step. Enjoy where you're at. Like, be in the moment where you're at and do where you're at really, really well. In fact, I'm reminded of Joseph in the Bible, who was sold by his brothers into slavery. Like, who would pick that? No one would pick that, right? Like, oh yes, Lord, send me into slavery, right? No, but Joseph was sold into slavery. And then he was sold to Potiphar. So then when he was in Potiphar's household, Potiphar noticed he is really good at managing the household. So he put him in charge. And so a household is small compared to what Joseph will be managing, right? But this is the training field. This is the moments of being obedient to what God has called you to and learning in the moment where you're at. So then next, when he does something, well, he doesn't do anything, but he just gets accused of doing something, and he gets arrested and put in jail. Well, now he's in a jail, but then the head of the jail system says, oh, he's pretty good at managing things. So he puts him in charge of the jail. Like, now he goes from a household to a jail system, which is bigger. And he manages that for years. And in that moment, you know, you'd be like, oh, he's in a jail. That sucks. And it's like, yeah, but he's learning through there how to manage that really well and be obedient to God and to point others to God. Even the two guys who have dreams, he points them to God. And it's amazing how he just stays faithful in this hard situation. And then after a few years there, he gets brought to the palace. And the Pharaoh says, hey, can you interpret my dreams? And he says, no, I can't, but God can. And so there he is glorifying God. And in that moment, he is elevated to the second in command of Egypt, which is the most powerful country in the whole world at that time. And he manages the whole country. So think about that, y'all. Think about where you're at right now. Maybe you're just yourself at home and you have a little studio in your house, or even just the just the kitchen table. Wherever you're at, you're starting somewhere. Do what you're doing right now really well, and let God promote you when it's time to be promoted. My friends, Jerry and Janice, we all applied to the Loyola Art Show in Mobile, and I guess all of us were But I'm going to give them some insight that the Holy Spirit gave me privately. I don't want to say it out loud, but I think I understand kind of why we weren't picked. But I will tell you guys, I don't know what that just pop-up was. Hopefully we're still live. It looks like we are. Anyways, I'm going to read you some scripture, and I hope that this encourages you like it encourages me. And I don't know if I've read this one. Did I read it last week? I have no idea. It was right here on my desk. Like literally, I flipped it upside down. I thought it was watercolor paper. And it was there, and I read it, and I think it's very pertinent to what is happening in my life. So I hope that this encourages you in your walk, in your faith walk. Remember, ask me anything. I'm here for y'all if you want to talk. But this says Psalm 84:11, and it says, I, the Lord God, am a sun and shield for you. I, the Lord, will give you grace and glory. No good thing will I withhold from you if you walk uprightly. Boom. We're going to have to walk uprightly, but he's not holding anything back from you. If you feel like, oh, I'm not successful because God doesn't love me, that's not true. No, it's not true. God loves you. God wants you to succeed, and he wants you to succeed at the right time. Sometimes I'm trying to push to the next big thing. Like I am probably still with the brothers who are going to sell me into slavery. Like that's my stage maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm at the Potiphar's household right now. I don't know where my stage is. I just got to trust that I'm in that stage, and to stay in that stage without trying to encourage it to be. Then like if Joseph had been like after his dreams of his brothers bowing down to him and his mom and dad, if he had just gone and went to Egypt or the king or something, Pharaoh, and said, I need to be in charge because of this dream, he would have been laughed at, y'all. He would have been just like his brothers were like, no, we're not going to do that. But it ends up becoming true. So like maybe you have a calling on your life to be an artist who sells, hundreds of thousands of dollars of paintings every year. Who knows what your vision is, your calling is. Maybe you're meant to just paint for your friends. Who knows, right? But whatever your calling, you're going to have a calling. And then the Lord is going to reveal the steps. So don't push it faster than it needs to go, But look at these little guys. They're so cute. Which one? This one. I like this one. I like those. I like this one too. This one's so pretty. Maybe I'll make some prints. Would you guys want a print of this? I can't. Would you guys want a print? Let me know. I might make one. I haven't really updated anything for sale on my website. Maybe I'll do that. But anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see y'all next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't. Share it. Tell people about me, Jacqueline Parks. Mwah!